Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a whole new episode of Full Steam Ahead. I'm your host Zoe, with my partner in crime on the other side, Mr. Cantu.
How's it going? Hope you're having a good week.
Yep, it's the weekend, Angel. It is the weekend. Astros return back home after a 4-3 road trip. Could have been better, but hey, you gotta take where it goes. And I mean, they did a great job over there in Baltimore. Episode 118. We're gonna call this episode
I
Tuckland.
love it.
Obviously, Baltimore over there is called Birdland for the Baltimore Orioles, but my gosh, Kyle Tucker made Camden Yards his home after hitting two home runs in the 3-game series, and one of them being the most clutch of them all. But Astros take two away from the Baltimore Orioles, who were red hot. And I mean, I believe they're still number one in the East, AO East, and they're still the number one team in the American League. But going over there, doing that, especially against one of their most dominant closers, really even considering for Cy Young votes too as well, and Felix Bautista, it was remarkable. And even the bullpen and the starting rotation with the young offensive, hitters that they have. I mean, Ali Rujman, Gunnar Henderson, Austin Hayes. I mean, it was a really great show for both teams. Like I said, this could be a possible ALDS or ALCS matchup down the road, and just really experience showed in this series. But Angel, before we get into more into that, what is the one word would you describe this series against the O's?
I was gonna say intense. I think besides the Ranger series, this is one of the series where you're looking at this Astros team, and it kind of gives you a little sense of comfort and sense of like this team still got it. Like this was again how you said the best team in the American League, and the Astros took 2 out of 3. And the Astros, and then the important thing is that, like you said, they were able to get to their top tier bullpen. That's been their staple so far. Their high powered offense and the back end of the bullpen for the Orioles, and the Astros were able to limit and get to those. So it was a great series. It was intense, back and forth action. It was baseball, like pure baseball. That's like as high as it gets. It was a special series, but the Astros did came on top, and that's the great thing.
Yeah, I mean that first game, the Astros were down. Framber, I mean, even though if you look at his stat line, it wasn't the best, but I mean, Framber was giving up just solo or 2-run shots. Pitch count was there. He pitched through 7 innings too. The bullpen helped him out. The offense really helped him out. Kyle Tucker again that in game one, and it is just this never say die team kind of thing. I mean, even almost in the last game too, they almost came back and won, and made Felix Bautista blown another save. But let's get off with the shout outs, Angel. And who do you want to shout out first? I mean, I already got an idea who you're going to go with being with this episode title.
Yeah, it wouldn't seem right if the episode's called Tuckland and Kyle Tucker is not the first one getting a shout out. So shout out to Kyle Tucker, 4 for 12. That's a 333 batting average, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, and a walk. And as you know, the go-ahead grand slam off Felix Batista on Tuesday night, and I can tell you that was special. That was special. Did you see that at bat though? That at bat was
It was
a
about eight
quality at
plus
bat.
pitches, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he went down 0-2, and then being able to battle back, and that foul ball that almost was caught by the catcher. I think by Ali Rushington. That one it was a special at bat. Like as soon as you saw Kyle Tucker fighting off those pitches, we kind of sensed something. It was like, whoa, like I feel like once the bases were loaded, you can kind of sense, oh, something special could happen, and it did, and then
Yeah, many shout out to John Singleton too to draw that
yeah,
walk for the in the beginning of the inning against Felix Bautista. Shoot, I mean you're bringing the guy up from the minors, even though he has a little bit of taste of the majors, but he's not
yeah.
one of the top guys. I mean many shout out to him.
Oh yeah, like try putting himself in his shoes. Like, all right, you try to make a comeback, and then you're put against the best closer in
Yeah.
not just the American League, but in baseball right now. So I mean, yeah, like you said, shout out for that great at bat, working that walk. But like how you were saying, Felix Batista has some consideration for the Cy Young, and we even talked about this in the last pass because it shows you how much we know. We were like the Astros got to score early because that back end of the bullpen was deadly, and the Astros were like, I bet, and they proved us wrong on that one. But yeah, Kyle Tucker was great. How about Jose Altuve?
Dude's been on a mission.
Yeah,
Dude's been on a mission. Yeah,
Back to his old ways. 8 for 14 at a 571 batting average, one double, four RBIs, one walk, and a stolen base. And crazy thing is, he extends his hitting streak to 12 games.
that's just crazy. I mean, that's veteran presence right there in that game. I mean, that second and third game, I think he had like plus 3 hits. I know the Saturday, not Saturday. Where am I going with Saturday? I'm already on weekend planning already. But what was it? Wednesday's game? He had 3 hits. Thursday's game, he gets 4 hits. I mean, that's how
Yeah,
special this guy is to this lineup. He's a table setter for a reason. He said that he really doesn't even like leading off, but when his number's called on and he's going to be the leader and he's going to show out right there and stealing bags too, dude. Did you see that jump that he did? I believe when Bregman was hitting, he stole a base on Dean Kramer, but Kramer didn't realize it until Altuve was literally at second base,
yeah,
and he went all the way to third. No, I mean it was very nice to see that from Altuve. He looks honestly, he's looking like an all star right now. Even though the
yeah.
all
More comfortable.
yeah, even though the All Star break is already passed up, like you said, I mean really right there, nail in the coffin that you said. He's looking very comfortable at the plate and very aggressive too. I mean, of course, everybody knows he's going to swing at that first pitch, and pitchers beware because if he's swinging off that first pitch, it's either a base hit or a home run, out of the park.
Hmm.
But other than them two, how about we show some love to Alex Bregman, dude? I mean, Breggy did not get a lot of hits, and that was some of our over under questions. If he was going to get, I think what we had said 4+ hits in this series, dude. Sure enough, I mean he was hitting the ball. He looked like Bregman coming out of the All Star break in this series. He went 6 for 13, 462 batting average in this series, one double, two RBIs, two walks. I mean the two swinging motion. It looks very comfortable to him. Looks better at the plate. I think Bregman just being in that two hole is very comfortable and just like very pleasant in this lineup. I mean, he has great numbers in the four hole, but when you have no one kind of in that two hole right now, I mean, they've kind of thrown Pena there. Of course, Bregman. You can even put Chas McCormick, but Breggy has been very consistent there, and I won't be surprised if he's going to be in that spot if the Astros make the postseason.
Yeah. And what did you think about Dusty putting Jordan and Tucker back to back?
I don't mind it. Actually, I don't. You're putting pressure on the pitcher, and speaking of pressure, I was going to mention this too right now, like you were saying about the bullpen. Fujinami came in. He couldn't hit me. He got 2 outs. After that, he was walking everybody. Command wasn't there. Great play discipline on the Astros hitters. Yunior Cano too gave up, I believe, 2 runs in this series. Felix Batista gave up some runs in this series for a good while. I can't remember the last time he did it. He's been struggling against the Astros too whenever he comes into close games for those. So offense did great play discipline, consistency, everything like that. But question was again, what was it? One more time.
What do you think about Dusty Baker batting
Oh
Kyle
yeah,
and Jordan and Tucker back to
Jordan
back?
Tucker. I don't mind it. I think you're gonna put, like I said, pressure on on the arm, on the starter, the relief pitcher, anything like that. You put a lefty against them too. I think it doesn't really phase them. It doesn't really hurt Dusty as well, because you're gonna have to either pitch to either or. And I mean, Kyle Tucker right now, if you looked at MLB.com or the MLB rankings on Twitter, he is number 2 apparently in the American League. If Shohei Ohtani isn't in the American League, Kyle Tucker could be making a bid for AL MVP.
Oh,
And then everybody knows what Jordan Alvarez is all about. So it's like kind of pick your poison what you're going to do right there.
yeah, no, I like it. How you said it kind of gives you Tucker a little protection because
Hmm.
like he's gonna see some at bats because they're not gonna like they're worried about Jordan, but he's like, hey, don't forget about me. And did
Yeah.
you know that Ali Rushington was the first left-handed pitcher? I mean, left-handed hitter to hit a home run to the left side where they extended that
I
wall.
think I saw something about that. It is shocking too because Pena hit a 396 over there. When I had, I mean, old Oriole ballpark, it would have, gone, but they extend that fence and it's just not the same. It's
It's,
just not the same.
but it's kind of like an eyesore too. I mean, because like for me, like it doesn't look right. Like yeah, there's Fenway, the big monster, right? But that one's just it's not
I don't like it either. They should have just left it how it was. I guess they got tired of the Yankees hitting a bunch of home runs over
that's the
there and
Judge
left.
effect for sure.
The Judge and Giancarlo.
But moving on from shout outs again, it was a great series. Many players could have been shouted out. Like you said, John Singleton with that mini shout out as well. But we kind of took a gander at this last time when Drew Gilbert was traded and just right for Justin Verlander, we were like, it's important for them to sign Kyle Tucker because there's no protection anymore, right? There's no Drew
Hmm.
Gilbert. I mean, yeah, you got Jacob Mountain, right? But Drew Gilbert was your high end prospect. That's no more. So we kind of hinted it. Like the Astros had to do something, and this is what Danner
Yeah.
Brown on the Salisbury show on Sports Talk 790. This is what he had to say about Kyle Tucker's future. He's like, "Let me put it to you," and I quote, "Let me put it to you this way: Kyle Tucker will be a Houston Astro. We feel strongly about getting it done, and I feel he will be an Astro for the rest of his career. We'll get it done."
Wow.
Interesting, because as you know, Astros don't like getting contracts over the 6 years, and Kyle Tucker is young. He's looking for like a 10-year deal.
Hmm.
What do you think the Astros will do? Do you think Danner Brown's just like speaking words, or you think he's speaking words to actions?
Man, I kind of believe David. I really kind of believe him, dude. I really believe in Dana Brown. The Dana Brown fact. As soon as he came in, he made sure to get Christian Javier locked up. Apparently, there was some extension talk to Framber Valdez, Kyle Tucker as well. Of course, they're not going to forget about you, Alex Bregman or Jose Altuve, but I really believe his philosophy and him being the Astro for the rest of his career. And like I told you too, this is my opinion, and no one has to agree with it. I honestly think this is going to be the first Astro that could get maybe 10 plus years, not 10 plus, not even 10 plus, but 10 years at least. We know that not Dana Brown, Jim Crane does not love giving them long term contracts. It didn't work out for Cole, it didn't work out for Springer, it didn't work out for Correa. This guy right here, though, he is a five-tool player.
Yeah, I think he's different. I agree with
He's
you.
very different from Correa, and I mean Correa's had injuries. Springer had his deal of injuries as well. Garrett Cole, I mean, he's going to be one of the best pitchers. He'll probably get into the Hall of Fame whenever his career's over, if he gets a World Series or even a Cy Young. But Kyle Tucker, he has the five tools in a baseball player: speed, contact, power, fielding, and his arm strength. He's won a Gold Glove already. I'm pretty sure he could be winning a Silver Sluggers too soon enough. 30-30 kind of guy. I mean, he's at 24, 25 stolen bases right now. He just needs 30 home runs. The five stolen bases, I don't think is going to matter to him. I think he could be that 30-30 guy. Astros haven't had a 30-30 guy, too, to mention since 97 from Jeff Bagwell. So, like you said, this guy is something special. Dana Brown had told Crane, too, like, hey, you're going to have to get uncomfortable with me when I'm the GM. And this is one of these moves I feel like could be the one. I could see an 8 to 10 year contract for him because I really believe that Dana Brown is gonna make Kyle Tucker an Astro.
You have to. You have to. Again,
Yeah,
there's
you
no
have to
safety
too.
net unless you again because like the way the market is, it's either you sign Kyle Tucker to a long deal or you try to negotiate a long deal with somebody else. Like a long deal is
Yeah,
gonna have to happen, especially in this market. Again, it's like the players are running this market with their high end contracts, and you know, unless you want to take a gander at Ohtani, I don't. Uh,
there's no
again,
way.
yeah, again, I think Kyle Tucker is the future because at this point there's no one else. So
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it too, look at the contracts the Braves have done, in the past. I mean, as soon as they got Matt Olson, they signed him to an extension. Austin Riley too. I feel like the Riley contract could really turn into the contract what Kyle Tucker could get. And I think Riley's was about a 10-year, 280 something million. But I'm pretty sure Tucker's gonna won three. I feel like he will won three. But like you were saying, dude, I mean, this guy's special. And he knocking on wood right now. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt, but he hasn't been really hurt through his career as an Astro. I mean, I feel like you were saying too, with the farm system, Drew Gilbert's gone. You need that protection, and you got to sign him. You got to set your first two outfielders being it'll be Jordan and Tucker, and then center field, you just platoon it and you continue doing what you've been doing since last year, just plugging in Jake Myers, plugging in Chas McCormick, even Mauricio Dubon now. He's going to get some spots in center. So, I mean, you could rely on the farm system, but at the same time, too, we've said this over and over again. You don't know what these guys are going to provide in the future. You don't know if Colin Barber is going to be a superstar player. Um, I don't know the other guy's name, but him too. Jacob Melton as well. Um, you just don't know. You just don't know what the future, and especially with the Astros right now, considering themselves as a quote unquote dynasty and the golden era of Astros baseball, you got to continue that on because you didn't sign Jordan Alvarez for 6+ years for a rebuild to happen later in the future and not, sign good guaranteed baseball players. So that's my take on it. I don't know if you had to add more before we move on.
No, I agree with you 100%. Like I mean, like everything you said, I agree with you.
Has to happen, but we're just gonna have to keep an eye on that. Maybe it does happen before the season ends. Maybe it does. Happens after. I mean, before we move on too, I mean, do you think it needs to happen sooner than later, or do you just want to wait? They should just wait in the off season.
I would say the sooner the better, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Kyle Tucker didn't want any contract talks during the season. I'm not sure that
Hmm.
was the case. I could be wrong, but again, the sooner the better. So I would say
Yeah,
the least, like the more you stall on it, the more other offers
the
seem more
stock,
enticing. Like
the
yeah,
stock is gonna go up too on him.
yeah, for sure. So I would say the sooner the better.
Well, James Click was able to get Jordan during the season. Never know. Never know. It could happen with Kyle Tucker too, but with a different GM. Let's get that preview though going for you, Angel. It's the weekend, Friday night fireworks. Saturday, speaking of Kyle Tucker, they're giving away a Kyle Tucker throwback jersey. And Sunday, 110 start time. I believe it's beanbags, promotion wise.
I
So
think Friday is the Minute Maid.
Minute Maid Park replica.
Yeah,
So that should be very nice. So if y'all gonna want to get them items, y'all better get there early because it'll be gone before you know it. But like we were saying preview, let's get that against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Disneyland, as I like to call it. 58-58, and you're just at 500 winning percentage, fourth in the AL East. They are 3-7 in their last 10 games. They've lost 7 straight. I don't know if you saw that. And there was like a bunch of teams, the Diamondbacks, the Giants, including them themselves. They just beat the Giants in a series, I believe, in this last homestand that they were at before coming to Minute Maid Park. But like we were talking about Friday, 7:10 start time. Justin Verlander will be making his Minute Maid Park debut this 2023 season. He is 6-6 with a 3.11 ERA. He would be going against Reed Detmers, 2-8 with a 4.78 ERA. And JV, I mean, I think JV is glad to be back at home pitching on Minute Maid Park turf. He hasn't pitched there since the ALCS, I believe. Well, if you take away the Mets and the Astros uniform, it hasn't been since the ALCS because the World Series. Oh, no, no, no. World Series, maybe.
I think it was World Series. Yeah.
World Series. So, anyway, other than that, I mean, Verlander in his last outing against the New York Yankees, it wasn't bad. 7 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. The beautiful thing about Verlander being back in the AOS is he loves dominating these teams, and the Angels are just one of those teams. In 8 starts, he is 6-1 in an Astros uniform against the Los Angeles Angels. So this guy coming back, his first game back in an Astros uniform on Minute Maid Park, on the surface, on the pitching mound, whatever you want to call it, he's just gonna be pumped. You're gonna hear "Till I Collapse" by Eminem as soon as he comes off out of the dugout coming onto the mound. Oh man, it's just gonna be electric. I think fans are gonna be out there on their feet cheering this guy on. So it should be very fun to see JV back. Last outing for Mr. Reed Detmers against Seattle. He was 4 innings, 9 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. I mean, Detmers has pitched against the Astros already twice this season. First series, he's gone 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. That resulted in a loss. And then his second outing, 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. The thing with Detmers, though, longevity, the endurance hasn't been there for him in these last couple starts. Has only pitched only to the fourth inning in the last 2. He carries a 5.49 ERA away from Angel Stadium. So he struggles on the road. Left-handed hitters are going to love him. I mean, who doesn't love hitting off Reed Detmers, especially Jordan Alvarez and Mr. Kyle Tucker? I mean, it's just kind of shocking because it's a lefty-lefty matchup. You'd think the left-handed pitcher would get the advantage, but he's struggling bad. Opponent's batting average against left-handed hitters, he's throwing 312. Slugging percentage, 519. Great opportunity for these two guys to get a home run, especially Jordan. We haven't seen a Jordan home run in Minute Maid Park
It's been a
off of
while.
off an actual pitcher I think before his IL stint, I would say. But that's the matchup for Friday night. Saturday, we got 6:15 start time. Mr. Jonathan Patrick France. JP France is on the bump to start the game, 8-3 with a 2.75 ERA. He'll be going against Tyler Anderson, 5-3, 4.92 ERA. JP France, Angel, last outing against the New York Yankees. He came on his first career relief appearance. If you didn't know that, we're letting you know right now that was his first ever time coming out of the bullpen, and he didn't do a bad job. 3 inning and a third, 3 hits, 1 run, 0 of them earned, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. But his last start, pitching. 7 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. I believe he still got a quality start streak going. He's been pitching very well. 3 times in a row he's thrown 7 innings. Angel, you remember that
Yeah,
off of
I
our
do.
over under? I mean, he's been killing us with that. But he did pitch against the Angels already twice this season. The first start he did pretty good. He didn't get the win or loss in any of those games, but last on University Angels, it was coming off the All Star break. He went 4 in the third, 9 hits, 2 earned runs, 0 walks, 2 strikeouts. So, Angel, do you think in his last appearance will affect his start? Because in the last time he came out to pitch, it was in a relief role. Now he will be starting. Do you think it's going to affect his start going against the Angels?
No, he's a baller. I think no matter his role is, he is ready to roll. Even in the minors, he kind of he was a starter and he had some relief action as well. So like it's nothing new to him. Yeah, it was his first major league, debut on that, but it wasn't his first time doing it. So again, I think he's a baller. He'll be ready to go no matter what his role is.
Yeah, give that man some respect. AO Rookie of the Year votings. I believe he's going to have some votes. It could be a possibility if he continues this trend. He could be a top five or possibly top three because Josh Young's hurt right now. Gunnar Henderson, Masataka Yoshida, even Hunter Brown. You could give him some votes, but just have to see on that. But Tyler Anderson's on the other side of things. His last outing versus the Seattle Mariners, 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Last outing versus Houston was a weird stat. 3 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. And when you're looking at that, you're like, man, 1 earned run. He only went 3 innings. That's kind of shocking. He didn't give up a lot of walks either. What made it happen? Well, the Astros made him work. The offense made him work on the mound. Threw 85 pitches total that day, threw 35 in the first inning. So, the offense is just going to have to continue making this guy work, continue to make this guy throw a lot of pitches to them, possibly have another 35 in the first inning as well. But another thing with him, to left-handed hitters, if we're staying on that topic, these are two lefties, Detmers and Anderson, a 13.4% walk rate to
Oh
these
man,
left-handed hitters. That's a high number. Angels fans don't want to hear, especially. But if you think about it too, Jordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, we just talked about them two hitters, one of the deadliest combos in a lineup. So very interesting to see that number being kind of eye rising and things like that. But that's what happens when you have to pitch two guys like Tuck and Alvarez. You might have to continue walking and raise that percentage rate against them too. But last but not least, we got Sunday's matchup. 1:10 start time. Jose Urquidy's on the mound for the Astros. 2-2 with a 6.10 ERA versus Chase Silseth. He is 3-1 with a 3.72 ERA. And Jose Urquidy's last outing at New York. If you remember, he was just dealing first 2 innings, third inning as well. But the fourth inning came, it was just a different. 3 and a third, 3 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. And when you listen to 5 earned runs, it wasn't that bad. The stat line wasn't bad. He struggled with command in the fourth, went back to back walks. Dusty pulled him out. Phil Maton came in, just continued that same trend, started continuing to walk batters, hit batters. So that's what happened to Jose Urquidy's ERA going up and then plus getting those 5 earned runs. Before that, I believe it was 2 earned runs that he allowed. So this is his second start, obviously off the IL. Angel, what can you expect from Urquidy? This, like I said, it's his second start, especially being at Minute Maid Park. I feel like it'd be a little bit more comfortable. But what do you think?
I'll say some improvement for sure. Again, those Yankees hitters are tough. Yeah, I feel like their batting averages might not show it, but they're ready to battle on every pitch. I feel like with the Angels, I mean, that's no different. But like you said, at home, it's second start. he's getting like he already had his feet wet getting back from that injury. I feel like when you come back, like it's always in the back of your mind that injury, but now like he's done it the first time, he can get a little bit more comfortable, more confident on that. So I'll say it's an improvement for sure.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a huge improvement. Obviously, it was your first start coming off the IL. You're not expecting a shutout. You're not expecting throwing no hit baseball to these players, especially the Yankees lineup, which I mean, it's still not a bad lineup. But I mean, they've been struggling with injuries, inconsistency as well. But I think it's a better lineup than the Los Angeles Angels. So, like, I agree. Yeah, I totally 100% agree with you. I think there's going to be very huge improvement. Sweeper, changeup, fastball. It's going to be working for him. But moving on to Seth. Last outing versus the Mets. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 12 strikeouts. That's a big number right
Wow,
there. You
I know.
don't get to see every day. And then not just that, Angel. He's a reliever. He was a reliever, and this will be his fourth career start this season
Fourth or
as a
first?
starter. No, number
Fourth.
four,
Okay.
four. One appearance against Houston, and that was in a relief role. That he threw 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Like I said, this is going to be his fourth career start, especially this season. Let's get to know him. Okay, we got to figure out what pitches he's thrown, especially to this Astros offense. He has a 5 pitch arsenal. We're gonna see a lot of 4 seam fastballs, slider, split finger, cutter, and sinker. You want to take a guess what's going to be the most thrown?
I mean, I feel like fastball.
Of course, it's going to be the 4 seam fastball. That's every pitcher you would think, unless they have a cutter, unless they have like some type of sinker. But yeah, 4 seam fastball, 35.5% of the time. Uh, Averages about 95 miles per hour. Then you got the slider, about 24.7%. 82 miles per hour is the average on that pitch. Gets a lot of whiff on that guy on that pitch too as well. 37.5 whiff percentage. Opponent batting average. It's a very interesting number. 0.097.
That
Very
slider.
interesting. Yes, the slider is a 0.097 opponent's batting average. So beware all these hitters. You know, quote unquote Jeremy Pena. Got to get that going. Split fingers, the next one, 14.3%, 37.8 whip percentage, 87 average miles per hour. Cutter, 13.7, 90 miles per hour. Sinker, 11.8%, 95 miles per hour. So this series right here, Angel, it is a well beyond kind of series that you can really get a sweep. Yeah, and there's no question about it. Like we've talked about before, I've said it before too. They kind of play to the competition. You cannot be doing that right now, especially you're in the wild card. You're 2.5 games back from the Texas Rangers from first. Try to get some ground on them. I believe the Rangers are playing against the San Francisco Giants this
Be a
coming
good
next
series.
series. So yeah, it's going to be a tough series for them. The Giants as well. They lost that series against the Angels, and they'll be back at Oracle Park. But very winnable series, potential sweep. Not a lot of offensive hitters on that lineup. To be honest, Agneto's out, Mike Trout's still out. They only got Mike Moustakis and Shohei Ohtani, and Ohtani could just do so much for this team. So be interesting series to see what happens for the Astros.
No, yeah, I feel like from this point forward, Astros can't lose series. They have to win them all because the way the Rangers are playing, it's hard to catch up when you're losing series. So like I feel like it's like early August still. And you still got one
Yeah.
month, but I don't see the Rangers stopping anytime soon. So at this point you got to win all the series. So we're taking 2 out of 3 would be crucial on this one.
Yeah.
But moving on to our MVPs and our hot take again, I had the one and only Kyle Tucker for my offensive MVP. Hit Astros score more than 4 runs in each game.
That was a
Actually
good one.
happened. That was
That was a
actually
good
happened.
one, and it happened. That
Uh,
what game was it? They were like, well, the second and third game they were flirting with three the whole time until
yeah.
like the 8th inning they started scoring runs. So great
Oh
job on
yeah.
their part.
And then Hunter Brown. Uh, he did pitch 6 innings, but he did give up what 5 runs. Uh,
Yeah,
it wasn't a quality start, so I'll take the L on that one. But my new one for this series for Los Angeles Angels, I'll say Jose Altuve is my offensive MVP. Again, he was hot. I say he keeps it rolling as well. You know what? I say JP France.
love it.
Yeah, he pitched 3.1 innings. That was off a relief row, Now he's back to the starting role. I'd say he keeps that trend going. Again, he's a dog. He's gonna do whatever it takes to win baseball games. And coming out from the starting role, I'd say, you know what? I'm even gonna say it's more than 6 innings. Like I feel like he continues that
Damn, more than 6 innings again.
more than 6 innings. Yeah, on that one.
Save that bullpen, please. Hashtag that. Save the bullpen.
And then what my hot take is, I put Ready Rose as an accident. I said Astros pitching limits the Angels to less than 3 runs per game. Is my hot take.
Not a bad one. Really not a bad one. I mean, I just said it right now. The offense kind of on their side, they only got Shohei Ohtani. To be honest with you, Mike Moustakas has been pretty good for them. Their newly acquired additions, CJ Cron and Randall Grichuk, have been struggling, but don't underestimate that team. Still at the end, but when you look on paper, it's like wow, they only got them two players that are producing in their offense. So very very possible hot take that's going to happen. But me on the other hand, I had Yordan Alvarez. Alvarez really didn't. It wasn't a good series for him. I was kind of shocked about it.
He almost tied the
Um,
game before that Kyle Tucker
Grand Slam.
grand slam. Yeah,
Yeah. They just hit the wall, Mateo. Speaking of Mateo, dude, he had so many good plays. Him and Austin Hayes, Robin home runs. My gosh.
yeah.
I'm glad we're out of there. But yeah. Jordan Alvarez didn't really produce for me. Framber Valdez too. Didn't happen. But I mean I did take on the hot take right there. Astros did take the series from a red hot Orioles team. It
Take
could
it,
have been
take
a
it.
sweep. It could have been a sweep, but sweep. But do you know too? Since we're before we move on to the Angels, Ali Rutschmanson, ever since he's been on the roster, there has been no way that like they haven't been swept at all,
I can see that.
which is very
See that.
shocking.
Yeah, game
Two
changer.
RBIs, yeah, two RBIs in that last game from Rutschmanson as well. But like I said, it's a new series. I got Breggy. Breggy's gonna stay hot. I believe he's finally looked like he got that groove in this series, hitting the ball very well. The play discipline as well is there. I feel like he's gonna have a big game. Maybe a Breggy bomb. Maybe a Breggy bomb. We haven't seen one since the Texas series. Yeah,
Sounds
but
about right. Yeah.
that was against a position player. So I mean, if I don't know if you really want to count it, but well, it's a possibility we could see a Breggy bomb in the Crawford boxes. Justin Verlander's got to be my pitch MVP. It just has to. The guy's coming back in Houston again, pitching on that mound. Like I said, since the World Series, chills, man, chills and goosebumps are going to be flowing in that stadium. I'm pretty sure JV is going to be pumped. Like I said, Till I Collapse is going to be blasted in the stadium. And then my hot take, Angel Astros will sweep the Angels. I got a two-part hot take actually.
About two
Sweep,
part.
yeah, the Astros will sweep the Angels, and I feel like they'll keep Shohei Ohtani under 350 batting average. And I feel like they'll allow one home run to him because Otani and Matt Olson right now are fighting for like
40.
the most home runs, which is 40, like you said. I feel like there could be a home run just, in this series from Otani, but I just see one home run and I still see the pitching, JP. That's funny, JV and JP. Um, and then Jose Urquidy with the sweeper and changeup mix. I feel like it could be effective against Ohtani. So under 350 sweep and only allows one home run to the best player in Major League Baseball right now.
All right, but there's no half points, is there? Like, you get both or it's wrong on that one.
I'll take it. I'll take both, man. Like I said, it's a potential sweep. It's favorable in the Astros' hand, but at the same time too, they got to go out there and just do their job
For sure. For sure. For sure.
for sure. But let's go with our last segment, and it is the over the under. I think we stayed around the same. I think it was 1922. I mean, we both wrote, increased a point, got a point out if you want to say. But here's our new ones for this series. Alex Bregman stays hot and records more than 4 hits in this series. It happened, and I think this was the same one we did
Mhm.
as the last one. Baltimore, he had 6. The Yankees, he had 0. Angel, what do you think? Over, under?
Yeah, I put this one again, because Bregman has been struggling, and he got 6 hits. So it's like, let's see if we can do like a double take on that one. You know what? Uh, or like double down on this one. And I said no, so I'm gonna say yes this time around. I'm not gonna let the JP France one where I said Then we said no twice, and the third one I finally said yes, and it happened. So I'm, you know what, I'm gonna take it early on this one. So I'd say over.
I can't break the jinx. You know me. I did that against JP France, and he still went out there throwing seven. So, and this guy's been my offensive MVP. So I got to support this guy. So I'm gonna go over on this one as well. I feel like he'll get more than 4 hits. The Astros are not going to see Shohei Ohtani either on the mound. So I feel like it's an advantage for these Astros hitters. But the next one, we're back with him again, Angel. JP France, the stash, is back in the starting role like we were talking about. Does he pitch 6 or more innings? And we're not saying 7, we're saying 6. Do you see him going 6 or more in this series? To remind you, the 3 1/3 was against the Yankees. That was in a relief role. But other than that, them last 2 starts he's had was both 7 innings. So, Angel, where we going? Under,
You know,
over,
you
under.
know what? I'm not gonna do it again. So I'm gonna go over on this one.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't either. You said 7 on the last one, so I'll go over on this one. It's very possible. Like I said, this offense, you just got to see that they don't play to the competition. It's a great opportunity for JP France to get his first win against the Los Angeles Angels. So I got to go over with this one. I feel like maybe it left a little sour taste. Maybe it's a little motivation for him to say, hey, let's go with the 6 man rotation and put me in this, with this depth that we have. We got JV, we got Framber Valdez, Christian Javier, we got our Kitty back. Come on, I want to be a part of this. Let's go. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the over on this one as well. So it can happen. It can happen. Second to last one, Astros as a team will strike out less than 25 times. This is an interesting one. We never done an offensive one like this.
Oh
We've done
yeah.
a bullpen one, or not even bullpen, just pitching in general. But we haven't done an offensive one striking out 25
I
times or
wanted to change it
less.
up a little bit.
I mean, I don't mind a little change. You know me. I love change. So, Angel, where are we going? Over, under?
This one's hard though, because as a team, like it makes it like it's a 3 game set. I'm gonna go over on this one. Oh,
Over.
yeah, it's a 3 game series. I need to gain some ground on you, so I'm gonna go over on this one.
Well, it's either you gain ground on me or you just keep I just keep leaving you away from me. So I'm gonna go under on this one. I think the 25 times it's possible, but this lineup has too many great hitters to be striking out that many times. Yankees, they had 12 as a team in one of the games. I can shoot myself in the foot right now, but as long as the guys just take their at bats patiently, you got Kyle Tucker has a great eye, Jordan has a great eye, Altuve so. Bregman, one of the best in the biz to do it. The only one I'm kind of a little worried about is Jeremy Pena. Martin Maldonado, that can happen for me. But other than that, I'll take the under on this one, under 25 strikeouts. Last but not least, we can't end it without having the guy that's going to be on the mound today for Friday Night Fireworks. It could be a great, great night for the Astros to take the first game against the Angels. Justin Verlander tallies more than 9 strikeouts. More than 9. The strikeouts, the rate for him hasn't been there that much this season. It could change since he's in the Astros uniform. It's always we've always seen JV throw 7, 8, 9 plus, even more than 10 strikeouts. So, Edge, what do you think? More than 9 strikeouts, or which one? Over under on this?
I'll say less. I'll take the under on this one.
And take the less.
Yeah.
Minute Maid's gonna be rocking, Angel. Minute Maid's gonna be rocking, baby. I'm telling you. It's gonna be just packed, goosebumps, chills. Everybody's gonna be bringing their JV jersey. I'm pretty sure the Astros team store is gonna start finally selling Justin Verlander Gold Rush jerseys because being in this team store, I don't think I've seen any. It's been majority Bregman Pena. 50% off too, if you didn't know that. If any of our audience did not know that. $60 jerseys for a Gold Rush. That's not bad, Angel. Shoot, 75 to
You know what?
$60, dude.
Next time I'm gonna wait until mid season.
That the hats are $10 too, just to swing the
Terrible.
little swing it up. But I gotta go. I gotta go over. I feel like 9 strikeouts is very possible for JV.
I say 7.
7, I can see
Yeah.
7, but JV, like I said, dude, this lineup isn't Mike Trout in there. You don't got Anthony Rendon in there. You don't got these, Taylor Ward. there's a great opportunity to strike more than 10 guys out. So I got to go with the over on this one, over 9 strikeouts. But that is all for our show today. Continuing to follow us at Full Seam Ahead on Twitter, TikTok as well. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us at Instagram, FSA Full Seam Ahead. Threads as well. Don't be afraid to look on Threads. Of course, it's a new app. It's still there. We're there, still tweeting, and giving you the best business we can. And then, of course, follow us and subscribe to our podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple, Spotify. Leave us a rate, leave us a review. We love to see and read. If you're loving the podcast, you're loving the flow, you're loving the segments that we're giving out. Canton's Corner didn't happen today, Angel. We might have
I
to get
know.
that going for the next one. So
I got it for next week.
next week we got one going. We'll have Angel break down a player, break down a team, break down something. It can even break down a bobblehead or the new replica of Minute Maid. So other than that, Angel, do you got anything else before we sign off?
No, thank you for listening. It was a short one today, so
Short,
hopefully,
40 minutes, man. Now that's a new record for us. I
I
want to
know.
say.
But like, hopefully that makes that drive a little bit smoother when your hair is out, or whatever you do when you hear our podcast. So thank you for listening.
Yeah, of course. Shout out to our fans, of course. Like always, the audience, Twitter, Instagram, whoever, wherever y'all follow us or listen to us on the way home, on the way to work, coming back. This Houston traffic out here isn't the best. Yeah, I think we could say that for all the state of Texas as well, San Antonio, Dallas. I mean, my gosh. But until then, y'all have a safe weekend. Y'all have a great weekend. We'll give y'all that recap against the Los Angeles Angels and get you that preview. The Astros go see a familiar guy. Angel, you want to take a guess before we go off on that too?
Tell me, I don't even know the schedule, honestly.
Yuli Gurriel,
Oh,
La Pina.
nice.
The Astros will go visit the Miami Marlins and see Luis Ariz and Yuli Gurriel. But until
Speak,
then,
Speaking
go
of
ahead.
that, before we the Miami Marlins don't come to Minute Maid Park this year. You think Yuli gets his ring at over there in Miami, or do they wait next year?
Nope, they're going to bring it to him. Yuli signed a 1-year deal with Miami, so then you don't know if he's going to be even playing baseball at that time. So Astros are going to take it to them. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be excited to see Yuli, coach, players. I think Alex Bregman being the number one guy probably can't wait to see Yuli, his other corner, the other hot corner. But until then, we'll talk to y'all. Y'all stay safe.
Peace.